Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm joined once again by my little co-host, Crew, and we're doing a follow-up to the scam video that I did a few weeks ago. I'm going to tell you guys what happened, what eBay did about it, and go over some of the comments that you guys left on that video to go into a little bit more depth about what freight forwarders are, what they do, and how you as a seller are protected if a buyer chooses to use them. But first, I would like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community where thousands of people can take any number of classes on any number of topics. This is where I learned how to do Final Cut Pro and edit my videos. I've learned more about Procreate for the iPad, ways to illustrate with my iPad and an Apple Pencil. I have loved doing that. I watch these videos while I'm feeding the baby, doing household chores, doing my makeup for the day, and I feel like it's been a really great way for me to feel like I'm learning while I'm just getting everyday chores done. Right now, Skillshare is offering the first 1,000 of my subscribers who click on the link in my description, they will get a free month of Skillshare Premium membership. That means you'll have access to all of their classes. There's no risk to you to try it. I think you'll really love it. Thanks again, Skillshare, and now back to the content of my video. I thought it was only appropriate that Crew joined me once again. He's having a little bit of a fussy afternoon. He's not really wanting to nap, so I'm just gonna let him hang out with me. Maybe he just really wanted to be in a video again. So let's go over some of the comments that you guys left on my last video. If you haven't seen it, I will link it here, but I'll also summarize kind of what happened to me. I had a buyer who claimed they received a damaged item, and then when I looked into it, because I remember distinctly pulling this item out of its brand new plastic and knowing that it was not damaged when I sent it, I looked into it more closely, and it turns out this buyer was using a freight forwarding company. They lived internationally and they were trying to save some money by using a freight forwarding company which was based out of Delaware. And what happens is someone can buy something on eBay or pretty much anywhere, have it shipped to that freight forwarding address, and they pay them a certain amount to have that shipped once again to their destination or their home. In this person, for example, was in Georgia, the country. And I learned from you guys that these freight forwarding companies are all over the United States. There's some in Florida, there's a lot in Delaware, there's some based out of California. So what happened is this buyer used this freight forwarding company. My suspicion was that the freight forwarding company was who in fact damaged the item in the first place and then sent it off to her, so I wasn't to blame here. The buyer demanded a partial refund because they still insisted that I did it. I reached back to the buyer and let them know, I know you're using a freight forwarding company, I think they damaged it, and I'm not going to partially refund you, because the buyer could not return it to me. They were international again. Like I mentioned in detail in my previous video, the buyer said the only way that they would return my item to me is if I paid $50 to have it shipped back to me and refund them in full, which I refused to do. So then I kind of left the video with a bit of a cliffhanger saying, I don't know what the buyer's gonna do at this point, but I know that I'm not liable, which is true. eBay doesn't cover buyers who use freight forwarding companies or, in their terms, have something shipped to one address and then forwarded to another address. So I felt pretty confident that I would be covered as a seller on eBay. So as a follow-up, this buyer did leave me a negative feedback. They said, received damaged item, and left me the negative. And this was a couple weeks after that altercation that we'd had via messages, right? So I had suspected that this would happen. I have blocked the buyer, so that's step one, right? Instead of directly calling eBay to get it removed right away, I wanted to go through eBay's seller help tab and see if they would automatically remove it from there. In case you don't know, if you go to the top right corner of your Seller Hub page, it says Seller Help, and if you click on that, it takes you to a page where you can get feedback automatically removed if it qualifies under eBay's guidelines. You can have additional defects removed in your account. You can request a selling limit increase. You can do lots of things here that are more automated. That means you don't have to call eBay directly to get help. So I used their request to remove feedback page, and I selected the feedback that I wanted removed, and it was, again, that person. And I want to add here that I think the negative feedback was an attempt from the buyer to again get a partial refund, because usually when you send a full refund, no matter what happened, eBay will remove the negative feedback. I've had that happen in the past. The buyer complained, I gave them a refund, they left me a negative feedback anyway, but because I had refunded the buyer, eBay took off the negative feedback. So I think that was one way that this buyer was hoping that I would just give money back, which again, I just wasn't going to do. So I requested to remove the feedback using their web page. I mentioned that this customer used a freight forwarding company, demanded partial refund when I wouldn't give them one, and also refused to send the item back within eBay. They wanted to, like I had mentioned, invoice me $50 to have them ship it back themselves, which you should never accept a return that someone is processing outside of eBay. It should always be processed within eBay so that you as a seller are protected. I also reported the buyer to eBay and described what experience I went through with them, saying that they were kind of hounding me and harassing me for partial refunds and demanding that I give them money back when they had no intention of sending the item back to me in the first place. eBay said that they would get back to me within a few business days about that feedback removal request, but within an hour I saw that it had been automatically removed, which was great. I was really happy to see it happen so fast and to be removed so quickly, and that I could leave this whole thing behind me without stressing that this buyer is gonna haunt me for the rest of my selling days. But it sounds like a lot of you have had a similar experience to me. I have hundreds of comments from this video with people saying that they've experienced freight forwarders, had customers try to scam them using freight forwarders, but who have also said that freight forwarding companies have always operated really well with them as a seller and they've never had any issues. And I do want to throw in there that I don't think freight forwarding companies in and of themselves are bad. According to a lot of you, and I've probably used them without even knowing it myself, and never had issues. A lot of you have used them and shipped items to buyers that way and have never had an issue. I think what we need to be on the lookout for is if a buyer comes back and tries to harass you as a seller, demand a partial refund, gives you negative feedback. If you look into the address of that buyer, you can piece together if they're using a freight forwarding company or not, and like me, realize that you don't owe them a partial refund. I mean, you never do anyway. And you can get that negative feedback removed. And you'll just know that the buyer's not protected because they used one of these companies. Julio says, a similar thing just happened to me also. Sold a Levi's Sherpa jacket, new with tags condition, and the buyer had a Delaware address. Roughly 3 weeks after the item showed as delivered, they wrote to me saying they received the item, but it was very dirty and missing tags. I knew right off the bat that they were trying to pull a fast one because I inspect everything I ship and remember specifically packaging this item out since I had to customize a box for it. Jacket was folded nice and neat inside a sealed poly bag to protect it from elements, so there was no way it could have gotten dirty and miraculously the tags gone missing. I stayed professional and told them I would be happy to accept a return on the item, and I never heard from them again. I think they were fishing for a discount or a refund. I was thinking I can sell this jacket as used, worst case scenario. That's kind of what I was thinking in my situation as well. So I wanted the item back regardless. If I was going to have to issue a refund to this buyer in Delaware, I think we as sellers need to call their bluff when this happens and request the item to be sent back for a return. I bet most will just drop it after that. I think he is exactly right, and I think that is an overarching lesson to learn from all of this. If a buyer is angry, upset, says an item was defective, damaged, whatever, but is not willing to return the item and is sending it to a freight forwarding company, there's really nothing that you as a seller have to do. This is a right and a protection within eBay that they forfeit the moment that they use a freight forwarding company. I just don't even give money back anymore, even for small items. Unless I know 100% whatever happened was my fault, my answer is to send it back for a full refund. It's worth it more to me that I don't reward a scammer even if I lose a little more money. They will go back and forth changing their story and gradually asking for less and less, and then finally disappear like a fart in the wind. That's so true. And I think that's a really good point. You know, partial refunds, well, I do think sometimes they might have their place. I think I might change my policy on that and just say, you know what, send it back for a full refund. I don't like partial refunds either. Okay, sorry about that. I had to put my little co-host down for a nap. I got this comment from Robin on my last video. She says, this is so crazy because this exact same thing happened to me. About 2 years ago, a woman bought a snowsuit for me, a child snowsuit, which was in beautiful condition. I live in the state of Delaware, very close to Newcastle. And when it showed that the buyer lived at 8 McCullough Drive in Newcastle, Delaware, I thought, wow, that's a coincidence. So when the woman emailed me and stated that the snowsuit was in horrible condition and she no longer wanted it and wanted to return it, and it was at least a month after she had received it, now I knew it was in beautiful condition. It looked barely used when I shipped it. I told her to go ahead and return it and I would fully refund her. She stated no, she didn't want to go through the process of returning it and lives in Georgia. I was confused because I thought she meant Georgia, the state. She said, no, I live in Georgia, the country. She stated that she buys a lot of things on eBay and gets them shipped to that address. She told me it would be too expensive to send back and would like me to pay for the return. I told her that I would not do that, however. She was welcome to return the item for a full refund. This led to her threatening negative feedback for me if I didn't refund her at least partially, and she did eventually leave me negative feedback. I did go to eBay and explain the whole situation, and they did remove the negative. eBayers definitely should be aware of that address here in Delaware because the same exact thing happened to me. So that is crazy because that really is exactly what happened to me. Like almost word for word, just a different item. Another comment said, my wife's store had a similar thing happen with an international buyer who claimed we never shipped their item. We looked into it and the destination address was a freight forwarding company based in Florida that sent things along to Cuba and South America. The buyer went as far as leaving negative feedback that we had to petition eBay to remove, which they did. Always use the platform to print your labels and work within eBay's guidelines. It'll save you in a pinch. So true. So I think the overarching lesson to be learned here is that freight forwarding companies in and of themselves aren't bad, but the buyers who use them know that some sellers don't know that they aren't protected when they use those freight forwarding companies. So they might try to harass you. And if you have a buyer kind of harassing you, saying an item was damaged when you know it wasn't, demanding a partial refund, saying that they can't return the item, or if they do, they're going to do it outside of eBay, or they're going to leave you a negative feedback, all that stuff. Being aware of these freight forwarding companies helps protect you as a seller because you know now that the buyer is not protected at all and that you don't owe them anything. Even if they leave you a negative feedback, you can get that removed. As was the instance in my case, I was able to get it removed pretty easily. And all returns really should be processed within eBay just so you can protect yourself as a seller. So I thought it was really enlightening. I loved your comments on that video. If you have any follow-up information, if I missed anything, please leave a comment on this video down below. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope it helped. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me what I missed. Tell me your experiences. I love reading about them. And I love how much it teaches us as a community. You guys are, in my opinion, the best community out there on YouTube. Thanks again. Appreciate you guys. Take care, and I will catch you next time.